Namaste, Galactic family. Welcome back to the Patreon. Today, I wanted to go through the DAO self seal removal session with you guys and basically provide a video for you to self remove these seals on your own as needed. You may find that continual seal removal may be necessary just as you really move through the ascension and descension cycles throughout the year. We do have 4 time cycles technically running that are keeping particular timelines and currents, coherency and incoherency with one another. And so we slip into waking cycles, half waking cycles, sleeping cycles, lucid cycles, void cycles. And that can all really affect how clear or how much clarity we have into the level of impact that these seals may have onto your consciousness and onto your spiritual body and onto the physical manifestations of illnesses and sicknesses and things like this. And also we merge at a lot of those points in between those time vectors where we're around people in our life that may have not had the same in-depth distortion removals. And so at these points in times and space-time, we can basically become hooked and implanted again. And for me personally, I do remove mine once a month, my J seals and also the Draco Aryan occult seals. I do this for my own energetic body, my own sovereign template, just to keep things very clear and unaffected. I always tell people, they say, once I do this removal, are these seals fully removed? And they are, particularly if we do it together and we really set that intention for this healing and this clearing to take place. Yes, they are removed. But again, these are planetary distortions. These are deep within the matrix, the grid structures of the earth, even in the crystal grids of the earth. And so we are all we can still all be affected by these continuously throughout our ascension evolution, ultimately. So this video today is going to be a Patreon only video. So only active Patreons and those who have had client session removals will have access to this video. As you already know, I do offer this DAO seal removal as an interactive session. So I do highly encourage you to book the seal removal session, especially if you feel that the weight of these energetically, you feel that in your energetic body, in your etheric body, or you just really visibly do see these seals in your central pillar and also the 3rd and 6th tonal line. But of course, due to expenses and things and other factors, I'm hoping for those of you that maybe can't afford that session or anything like that, I'm hoping that at least offering this self-removal video will give all of my Patreons an opportunity to remove their Draco seals, whether they do it with me or they do it on their own. And of course, self-work is really the one true way to really self-actualize these things. So it is important to do these things on your own and to really tune in with your own gnosis and what you're guided to feel and see within your own energetic body. I do find that the results when removing the implants with another person, you get better results. It more immensely impacts just the overall results of the removal. And it seems to be more direct and more impactful when psychic surgery is focused between 2 people, particularly on trouble areas of the body. I can definitely feel when I'm doing a lot of J seal removals that I can feel the portals really opening up and allowing those healing to take places within those deep sets of the lymphatic systems, and all of the ones particularly residing in the neck. We do a lot of focus on healing of that area in the J seal removal. And I can really sense that those transactions, those energetic transactions are taking place. And so you also get a lot of feedback when you do the interactive session. It really helps you to see where you're holding maybe more trauma or more blockages due to those particular seals. Okay, guys, so we're going to move on now to the removal part of the video. So please have done the first grounding technique, and the J seal removal before doing the biological and planetary DAO seal removal technique. The J seal removal video is here listed on my Patreon, so you'll just need to go back a ways to actually find that particular video. But I do believe I just posted the entire playlist the other day, so please feel free to utilize these videos to clear your J seals prior to the Draco hybrid Aryan occultist seals. And also, okay, just want to go over a brief disclosure before we kind of dive into the removal here. So the DAO seal removal paradigm is built upon theoretical, spiritual, scientific, and historical perspectives. So any and all techniques offered through the DAO seal removal session are theoretical in nature, and thus the teachings are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure any disease or illness, nor is it intended as a substitution for professional medical or psychiatric advisory or treatment. The DAO seal removal session is offered solely as a meditation for spiritual exploration. I acknowledge that there are no claims or promises as to the factuality of ideas and perspectives presented within the DAO seal removal session, and cannot offer any claims, promises, or guarantees as to the effects that may or may not arise through personal use of the DAO seal removal session. The responsibility for the decision to engage in involvement in the DAO seal removal session rests solely with each individual. Thus, the responsibility for any effects that may or may not occur in conjunction with this seal removal session must also rest with the individual. Okay, so just really important that I kind of go over that disclaimer, because in the 3D world, a lot of people are coming from a lot of different perspectives. A lot of people are maybe even coming up into the spiritual aspect of things, and maybe do not fully understand the intricacy of the esoteric nature and the depth of what these seals really truly represent. So it's a bit self-experimental, it's self-exploration, and it is solely based upon particular belief structures, I guess, within the Aryan occultist timeline. Okay. It is as accurate as it can be according to history and to the research and to the things that I have found to be true, according to what the Dracos have been involved with over the extensive galactic human timeline and history. And so we are doing the best we can with this seal removal. Everything is always subject to improve as we gain more insight into it and as we get more experience with these things. But this definitely is a session that is one of a kind. You're definitely not going to find anything like this anywhere else at this time. I do like to think I'm on the cutting edge of this just because of the immense engagement I have had with the J seal removal that has really allowed me to see another set of seal matrix systems that are running in the energetic imprinted etheric field of the human biology. And so we're kind of just going with it. I'm excited to share this with you guys, okay? So for this removal, we will work with the third dimensional Merkaba for opening the core gate and unlocking the pillar encoding. So for those of you who have had the J seal removal, we've always used the two-dimensional Merkaba. I find this one really, the two-dimensional Merkaba that we do through pineal induction, essentially that really does unlock encoding within the Atlantean timeline, which is where those seals reside. We're going to work with the third dimensional Merkaba because this is what is a little bit more expanded in terms of ascension evolution and according to that timeline. Working with more hyperdimensional structures that have more flexibility to float within the energy field and also transdimensionalize at much faster rates. So that's why we'll work with this more advanced Merkaba. In the future on my Patreon, I think I will also do a visualization with you guys doing somewhat of a Merkaba synthesis using this more trans-dimensionalized Merkaba, as that is where many of us are going as we, gain more psychic ability, more psychic fluidity, and doing things like teleportation and bilocation, even bringing consciousness out of the body. These would be these more rapidly evolved Merkabas that one would be already engaging as in their energy field, essentially. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up this Merkaba here for you guys. So we'll start out this removal session with doing a pineal induction of this particular Merkaba. It is the third dimensional Merkaba. And also using this more trans-dimensionalized Merkaba, we'll have more accessibility to level 1 density in the body, which is really where these seals are implanted in the spiritual, emotional, and energetic body. They are very deep within the first density field. And so this would be the most expanded Merkaba that you could work with that would still allow you to access that deepest layer of that density field within the body as well. And I just, another quick disclaimer, as you remove these seals, you will find that they're still very fresh within the emotional body. They're still very fresh within the energetic systems. This is because we have not fully actually come out. We're not fully emerged into the 6th root race as of now. We're still in that 6th sub race transition. So we have just now been able to fully see a lot of these distortions that were running from these timelines. Each of the descending forefathers from those previous root races, the magicians, the occultists, the priests, the Tothian magicians to some level, they have basically given this knowledge. And every timeline, every root race has really taken the knowledge from their forefathers, and they have altered it, shifted it, evolved it, and have come a lot farther. So hence one of the reasons why we're working with this more expanded Merkaba, but is also what makes it very fresh within the emotional body, the planetary emotional body, the planetary pain body, the planetary trauma body. All of this is still very fresh, and it's like a wound that is very much still healing. So these seals are deeply connected to that. And so they can have somewhat of an emotional response as you remove them. So I just want you to prepare yourself for that, that they can ignite emotion. And being submerged in the first density field in the carbon-based body, it can be triggering. Okay, so I just want you to be aware of that as you move through each one. Okay, so perfect. So I'm excited to dive in, and let's go ahead. Please make sure you've done a grounding technique. Also, there is a technique called clearing the 7th tonal line that goes along with my J Seal series. That technique can be used just as opposite. So instead of clearing the 7th tonal line, you focus on the 6th tonal line, which is basically the right ring finger according to tonal line numerology within the body. And so you can utilize the same technique to clear the 6th tonal line as we did in the 7th tonal line prior to the J seal removal. So if you decide to book a session to do this interactively with me, I will refer to that warm-up technique to clear the 6th tonal line. So please refer to that video if you'd like to clear your 6th tonal line. Just remember to do it on the opposite hand, opposite finger, just basically reversing that visualization to the right side of the body versus the left side. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and jump into this removal. So what I want you to do is you're just going to basically gaze at this 3rd dimensional Merkaba, and we'll do somewhat of a pineal induction. But first, I'll have you go ahead and bring up your pillar of light. So bring up your pillar of light all the way into the grand central sun. It should go all the way through very clearly in your mind, the magnetic North Pole. Have that pillar of light come all the way down into your chakra system, all the way down into the core of the earth. And once you can see that, go ahead and gaze again at this 3rd dimensional Merkaba. And you're going to want to take a nice deep inhale Inhale that third dimensional Merkaba into your pineal. Okay. And just see it right there at your pineal, that golden Merkaba. And I want you to allow that Merkaba to begin to spin. Now, the most advanced way to do this spin is for the top masculine triangle should be going clockwise, and the bottom feminine triangle should be going counterclockwise. So you should have a two-dimensional field spin rotation within your three-dimensional Merkaba, spinning right at the pineal. That is the actual accurate way to do the spins within these more trans-dimensional Merkabas. Now, you could just have your Merkaba go all to the right, but just know that you are simultaneously anchoring energy more to the masculine or the electrical. You could go all to the left, but again, you're focusing on only magnetic, only feminine. Now, if you feel you need to work on one or the other and your energies are unbalanced, maybe do that. But if you are trying to create harmony within those two energy fields, you should be doing the simultaneous clockwise, anti-clockwise spin within the Merkaba field. So just visualize that spin rotation taking place right at the pineal. You're going to inhale and exhale, and you're going to send that down your pillar of light all the way down through your chakra system and through your root chakra, and push that all the way down into the core of the earth. Allow that Merkaba to access the core of the earth, and continue to do that simultaneous clockwise and counterclockwise spin rotation set within your third dimensional Merkaba right at the core of the earth. As it rotates, I want you to allow that core gate to just begin to fully expand open beneath your feet. Okay, so really open up that core gate of the planet. So that way, when you look down with your third eye, you can fully see that expanded gate 12 inches to the right and 12 inches to the left. And through your breath, once you have that core gate expanded open, because we will use that for dematerialization of your Draco seals, I want you to bring that spinning Merkaba back up your pillar of light. Bring it up through your chakras, up out your crown chakra. And I want you to breathe that Merkaba up 24 inches above your head in your pillar of light. Okay, so this is going to be right at your magnetic North Pole. And from that point, I want you to inhale, exhale, and push it up 5 more inches from there. So that way your Merkaba is at the pinnacle apex of your pillar of light, okay, in between your connection to the metagalactic core and your magnetic North Pole alignment. Okay, so I'll give you a minute to just fully kind of sit with that visual we have created. Okay, and just know that from here, we're going to actually start to move through now and remove your Draco seals. So I want you to keep that spinning Merkaba active 5 inches above your magnetic North Pole. And then we're going to kind of drop down in your pillar of light. So I'm going to have you just bring your consciousness down, and we're going to scan at particular points for the seals. Okay, so leave your Merkaba 5 inches raised up from the 24-inch marker right at the magnetic North Pole, and inhale and exhale. And I want you to slide down now with your consciousness into the magnetic north portion of the pillar. This is still going to be extended above your head. You're still going to have your Merkaba spinning above here. But you may immediately at this point tune into Polaris here. Okay, and the Ursa Major system, as this is our planetary magnetic north. Okay, so if you feel the presence of their energy here, I want you to ask that they assist you with the seal removing, and scan here for what is called the Draco seal. So this can look like a large rotating seal in black or red iron colors, and could have 4 rotating artificial arms over the top of it. Okay, so this is one of the One of the distortions here that particular symbolisms that have been demonized in the Aryan occultist timeline, essentially they place that over Polaris to distort the lens here on these geometries that ultimately come from the metagalactic core. Okay, so if you see any distortions here like this, or you, like I said, you could just see a large black seal here. It could look a little foggy, and it could look like you can't actually fully scan into Polaris either. So if you see any of these distortions here, I want you to remove them now. And as you remove the distortions, you're going to go ahead and I want you to place them kind of off to the right side and just keep track of them. And you're going to bring them down with you in your pillar of light as we remove the seals. So go ahead and inhale and exhale. I want you to slide down another dimension of the pillar still extended above your head, hovering around the 11th dimension. So come through the 12th and come right into your 11th dimensional field. I want you to scan here at your intergalactic chakra, or what is your Atlantean chakra. Okay, so this can extend into the Atlantean timeline here. The seal was placed right in between those timeline markers. Here you're going to remove the Thule seal. This immediately clears any grail or past life connections to Satanism or Luciferian realms, ancestral contracts, blood covenants, or past life connections to these things. So maybe even if you feel that you're not connected to anything like that, particularly in this life, a couple lives back, you may have had a experience within your family or something like this that could be related to it, still carrying it within your Akashic field or your Akashic records. Okay. It's also pulls plugs that may keep you connected to negative ETs. So this seal can be very attached to your Atlantean chakra, and it also may require that you use tools to remove it. This can be seen as a large gray seal, not as large as the Draco seal, but it can be gray in color. It also can come in geometric forms that the Thule Society has used. So if you see any geometric imprints here, just remove them all because they are inorganic. They have been tainted. I've also gotten feedback that this seal comes in platinum as well. So maybe scan for platinum metals or silver metals attached to this seal as well. So go ahead and inhale and exhale. Slide down another dimension in the pillar to reach the black sun seal. This is right at the 10th dimensional portion of your pillar of light in what can be considered the soul star chakra or the oversoul, the monadic extensions of the higher self. I want you to scan here for a black wax seal, okay, or a black sun wheel geometric structures. Removal of this seal allows for 10th dimensional and higher consciousness to fully be perceived. This repairs the 10th strand of the DNA in the I am 10 and awakens the oversoul and the monadic extensions, which is necessary to expand into much more complex universal tree of life geomancy in the biology that gains you access to the deepest quantum functioning of God's sovereignty in the body. So as you remove the black sun seal, I also want you to take a second to really focus on repairing the 10th strand of the DNA. Okay, so I would like you to at least take 3 deep breaths here. And this is where in an interactive session, I would assist with this repairing here. But if you're doing this self-removal, please just take 3 breaths here and really focus on the 10th strand, repairing that, but also visualize the 12 electric overtones and the 12 magnetic base tones of your DNA braiding back together. Inhale and exhale and slide down to the causal chakra 5 inches above. Inhale and exhale and slide down to the causal chakra 5 inches above the soft spot of your head. Here is the Vatican seal. This can look like a large red seal with red cords that tie down onto the right ovaries or the right side testicle in the body, or even the right side of the uterine area. We will also scan here again at AO Seal 5 to make sure that you fully removed these ropes. This is considered the seal of confession that hosts the global egregore food source and loose station of fear from the wrath of God. This is the seal that prohibits sovereigns from speaking their truth directly to God and keeps shadow and phantom systems and loop cycles through frequencies of non-reconciliation and separation. So if you see red ropes here, I want you to use your tools. Okay, so we can use tools in seal removals. You can use something like scissors or a knife, or if it's easy enough for you to cut with a feather, use a feather. But however you see them in your body, for some people, these are going to be a lot harder to remove. You want a more equipped tool to remove it. Okay, so just work on removing the red ropes. A lot of people here have also seen keys and locks here. So if you see symbolism of keys and locks here, make sure to please remove that as well. Inhale and exhale, and come further down in your pillar of light at the pineal gland, the third eye in the sixth dimension in your vertical ascension column. Here is the seal of Baphomet. Okay, so removal of this seal unplugs the soul's individual and collective wealth curse upon the planet. This seal is inserted midway in the third eye, sixth dimension, as a small red seal, but does have extension plugs into the 13th dimension. So it is the main blockage on the sixth tonal line in the energetic body. So make sure to really look down from the causal into your third eye. So make sure to really look down from your causal into your third eye and scan into the core of the earth as well. Be sure to remove all extensions and plugs that could be inserted into the core of the earth into the 13th dimension. Okay, so inhale and exhale. Come further down in your pillar, residing at your nose. Okay, so I want you to scan for the seal of Solomon. This is actually behind the nose. Some people have seen it on the front of their nose, but I've seen mine behind my nose, about 2 inches behind my nose. Okay, this seal may look like a black seal coated in wax in your energetic body. It could be in the form of a pentacle or a hexagram. Removal of this seal removes the beast of the earth plug as he comes with the staff of Moses and the seal of Solomon, and is usually stamped on the nose of the unbelievers. So this plug can be one of the largest seals in the body, on or behind the nose, with also an extension that goes into 44 DNA plugs that extend off of the main seal. So this seal has been installed by both Draco and Anunnaki hybrids. And that's why that 44 DNA extension is possible. So just take your time with removing this one, as it's a heavy one. Okay, so now we're going to keep moving on down, guys. We're going to now remove all of the biological seals distorting the biology of the masculine template. Okay, really affecting the virility of the masculine template, and the overactive progesterone of the masculine template, right? Creating weak alphas. Okay, alphas that are not in tune to their higher masculine intelligence, that is really corrupting our society with gender identity issues, everything. Okay, so this stuff goes deep. But here we go. We're going to go through the biological seals now. So we'll start with AO Seal 1. And I want you to go ahead and etherically scan the right side jaw, right ear, right side temple, right side arm below the shoulder. Okay, scan here for small red seals connected into all of these biological locations. If you see these seals here, please remove them now. Okay, and we'll move down to AO Seal 2. Scan the back of the throat, throat chakra, voice box, larynx, and lungs. Scan here for small red seals connected into all of these biological locations. If you see these seals here, please remove them now. Okay, now we're going to scan for the monarchy seal. This is at the center of the chest. So here you will scan for this seal in either black, gray, gold, or red wax. This is a multi-layered seal and can look very thick stack of seals on top of one another. This would be inserted 2 inches underneath the rib cage and is underneath the Zeta seal after the J seal removal. So removal of this seal liberates one from one of the greatest intergalactic deals that has enforced slave trades and contracts, invasions, ethnic cleansings, mass deaths, theft and treason, amnesic and reincarnation harvesting and manipulation. So if you see the monarchy seal here, please remove it now. Okay, so I'll have you go ahead and scan for AO seal 3. I want you to scan your right wrist, your right ring finger, and your right pinky finger. I want you to scan here for small red seals connected into all of these biological locations. If you see any seals here, please remove them now. Okay, we'll go into AO seal 4. So this will be your upper right abdomen, your liver, kidneys, gallbladder. Scan here for small red seals connected into all of these biological locations. Okay, and let's just take a minute here also through concentrated thought to reverse the cell death programs running here, as this is one of the most impacted biological seals in the masculine template. Okay, this is what causes masculines to drink themselves today. Okay, alcoholism. Okay, so I'm going to also assist you. If we did an interactive session, I would be assisting here with this healing at this place. Okay, so just take 3 breaths here, and I want you to just focus on that concentrated thought of reversing the cell death programs and also remove the seals now. Okay, so next we'll do AO seal 5. This is going to be the lower right abdomen, the right side female fallopian tubes, right side uterus, or right side testes in males. Okay, so if you see any red seals here, please remove them now. And also please double scan here for the red ropes from the Vatican seal. Just make sure that you thoroughly removed them from that causal chakra. See any more attachments of the ropes? Again, here, please use your tools to remove those red ropes and cut these cords. Okay, so moving on to AO seal 6. Okay, so I want you to scan right side bottoms of the feet. There should be 3 smaller seals here. This basically blocks the release of electromagnetic energy to release into the earth, causing blockages on the right side for the electrical energy to be unbalanced and overstimulated, making one more susceptible to injury and illness on the right side of the body. Continually through time cycles, it keeps this energy very blocked. So please make sure to remove the 3 seals in the bottom of the right foot. So now I want you to bring your consciousness down about 5 inches below your feet in your pillar of light, and you're going to begin to scan for the seal matrix. So the removal of the seal matrix disallows plugs or seals to be placed into the 6th subrace DNA and future Earth grids. This is very much a collective healing aspect of the removal. Here, this can look like a double-sided seal with 2 matrix plugs. This can be gray or pale in color. If you see this seal here, it should be removed from this about the 9th dimensional portion of the pillar. Okay, so please remove that now. Come on down about 5 inches from the seal matrix in your pillar of light. You're going to scan for the crystal grid seal. The removal of this seal removes distortion in the planetary Earth shields. This is a hypersecurity seal preventing many to being able to access and even remote view into these locations, into the crystal bodies of the Earth. Blocking the actual mechanics within the Earth's crystal grid. So please scan for what would look like small blue plugs into the Earth's crystal body below your feet. If you see these plugs here, please remove them now. And then inhale, exhale, and you can come on down into the center of the Earth's core, right at the 13th dimension. And I want you to scan for what is the Vril seal. So the Vril seal can look like a large black seal that is inserted into the Earth core. Be sure to scan thoroughly under your feet that the extensions of this plug do not actually come up and link into the 9th dimension right up under the feet. Okay, so if you see this here, please remove any plugs that would extend up below the feet, and also remove that black seal from the core of the Earth. This seal left in the planetary body and in your biological field heavily affects the, like I said, the virility of the masculine energy and the nervous system, particularly the 10th cranial nerve that's called the vagus nerve, because it interfaces with the heart and the lungs and the digestive tract. And this is what ultimately breaks the nervous system down and causes ascension symptoms to be much, much, much worse as one goes through the purification process of the body. So please take a second here to send through concentrated thought to reverse all cell death programs running in the heart, lungs, and digestive tract. Okay. And again, if we were doing interactive healing, I would assist with this healing aspect of it. So again, just please take 3 deep breaths here to focus on this healing at the core of the Earth in your biological energy field. Okay, guys, so this was the DAO self seal removal session. I really wanted to be able to provide this to you guys so you could be able to self remove. And also, if you've had that interactive session with me, then you have this video as a tool to keep self removing as needed. And I love you guys so much. I will be back with another video. Namaste and take care.